What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease. Don't panic quite yet. Now, last night, Madison Square Garden in particular showed the rest of the league when the Knicks are on and popping, we pretty much set the tone, and the energy cannot be duplicated. So, Knicks fans, understand your energy and understand your value. Now, looking at heading into Game 2, there's a lot of major adjustments that we could make. First of all, the Hawks had left a really bad defensive lineup on the court for so long. That's how badly we just were in the offensive end. We just couldn't get a bucket. We couldn't get things kind of in a more fluid fashion as we were doing all regular season. Guys like Derrick Rose played 20 straight minutes in that first half right off the bench because we just needed a playmaker out there. We needed guys to make things happen. And Randle was definitely struggling. He definitely was trying to make plays outside of just scoring, just getting more guys involved. But Randle struggles, it shouldn't continue on because he's proven all season long that he could be that guy in big key spots. I mean, even from the mid-range, he was 1 of 10. Even taking the ball to the rack, he was 3 of 7. Things just didn't really look good. And also, guys like Noel, the injury he had in the fourth quarter, that allowed Trae Young to start cooking up, man, particularly from the inside, getting to the free throw line about 9 times. It created a different dynamic, that injury. And also, I want to talk about how Tibbs, in that last play of the game, he could have got guys like Alec Burks involved, man. I believe Burks had 18 points just in the fourth quarter alone, or I believe in the second half. He was cooking. And, just at the end of the game, just to give the ball to Randle. I know there's a lot of politics with guys getting paid big money and they have to take the last shot. But sometimes, you can't have a guy as hot as Burks was in the fourth quarter doing the inbound play at the, for the last play of the game. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. I was like, he should have been on the floor. They should have had someone else kind of take that inbound. So also just want to touch back on that injury to Nerlens Noel, because I noticed that the play that Trae Young had made at the end of the game was on Taj Gibson and on Frank Ntilikina. Now, a lot of the fan base was upset that Frank got put in just for that last second play. They felt like he should have been out there earlier guarding Trae Young. But just remember, offensively, we were struggling throughout that whole game. Once again, the Hawks had a bullshit defensive lineup of John Collins, Trae Young, Brogdon, and Gallo all on the floor at the same time, and we still wasn't scoring. So I don't expect that to continue game 2. But just understand, if we have Frank out there, it just would have probably added on into the offensive end the struggles of just getting someone to score. And Trae Young was getting a lot of, ticky-tack fouls. But once again, we got to keep in mind that the rules are set for these small guards. It's kind of in their favor to start cooking up and getting to the free throw line. But I don't really expect going deep into the series that the referees are going to give Trae Young all these bailout calls. But we need to keep the intensity up on Trae Young. Also, going back to the Hawks lineup, if our offense just gets more on point, we could keep guys like Clint Capella on the floor and DeAndre Hunter. Because Randle was struggling, these guys quickly were taken off the floor. And once again, they went with their weak off defensive lineup in which the Knicks were still struggling to kind of get their offense flowing. But once again, Vegas has given the Knicks the odds on winning this series. I expect a lot of major adjustments to be made. Once again, I'm just thinking about the politics of, the big name player, the big guy that's getting paid all the money, him taking a last shot because not Trae Burks, but Alec Burks last night, he was on fire in that fourth quarter and he was not afraid of the big moment. And once again, I said this in my earlier video for the playoff review or just preview that I'm hoping that Tibbs isn't scared of going to guys like perhaps Bullock if he's open at the 3, or guys like Alec Burks and having them hit those big shots because they've proven all season that they could make these things happen. But I'm just praying to God that Nerlens Noel, his injury isn't nothing crazy. I believe it's like a slight ankle sprain or something like that. But hopefully he could come back for game 2 because we definitely need guys down low to prevent Trae Young from just doing his thing. Because at the end of the day, the play that he made at the end of that game, it was on Frank Ntilikina. which he probably wasn't really even warmed up. And it also was on Taj Gibson, which, he's an older player. So that says a lot. Because if the Knicks were healthy, we would have had Nerlens Noel down low or even Mitchell Robinson. So you guys keep that into consideration. But once again, the Knicks, we just have to get going on the offensive end. Can't let the Hawks play that shitty lineup of just Gallo and just, John Collins doing their thing against Julius Randle and trying to guard him, especially Brogdon. They were all on the floor at the same time for a long stretch of time. That's why they got cooking eventually, hitting those corner threes. And we got to guard those corner threes like crazy, because that's how the Hawks basically came back on us yesterday. They love that shot. But once again, I expect Julius Randle to come back at John Collins. He cannot guard Julius Randle at all. He did his thing last night, but once again, it was more on Julius. Maybe the moment of just the Knicks being back in the playoffs, the Garden, just the fans, the atmosphere, maybe it was too big for some of these guys. But at the end of the day, hopefully everyone gets used to that tempo, that atmosphere, and they go on to do their thing. But it is what it is. You guys, man, keep the faith up. Be confident. This team, the Atlanta Hawks, they're doing their thing, but defensively, man, this, like Walt Clyde Frazier always says, man, they're Swiss cheese. And also, like the great Kwame Brown now, like he says, man, eventually mama's cooking is gonna kick in. So it is what it is. You guys stay safe. Until next time, peace.